So this is my 1985 Cutlass 442.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to rock the silk wave, sunny. Heard it taste the milk and honey, really lovely. I'm trying to start to rhyme for this money, buy diamonds for my honey. Young minds like Play-Doh, grave to cradle, educate. I stack like Lego with the Alfa Romeo, Durango white like Alfredo, parked on an angle. I'm in a park with an angle. I ain't stopping by without the raising. It's hoodie season, blowing goodie.
Talk about a firm soccer kick right in the bacon bits. Had this car stashed out back in a pop-up tank garage igloo. There was a decent windstorm and scratched my paint in 3 spots. That's how Mother Nature took the duct tape and hockey stick spoiler right off the back of it. Damn! So what we got a 1985 442. Now it's a factory 442 Cutlass. Came with the 307 engine, 204R trans, 10-bolt rear end. And driving this little 307 feels a lot like a high heel to the P-mail. But big block lifestyle. What we're going to be getting into this video series is 455 swapping this 80s Cutlass. And that big block should make this thing move out and take off like my neighbor's ex-wife. A quick rundown of what we're going to be working with. We got an F block, got a set of C heads with the end crank, stock pistons. Going to build it up with Edelbrock Performer cam and lifter kit. I'll give you the specs in a future video. We're going to run a Edelbrock Performer dual plane intake, not the torquer on this next setup. We're going to run the Moroso stock style oil pan. It's got better oil control than a stock pan. The baffling. Edelbrock double roller timing chain. The original setup, we are going to run the stock manifolds. It's going to make the swap a lot quicker and easier. In the future, we'll upgrade to some headers likely. Mechanical water pump. Everything I got with this engine. The rest of the stuff's all sitting there ready to go. So swapping these old big blocks into these 80s Cutlasses, you will require a mix of the bracketry, modificate the alternator bracket, and the power steering pump that's currently in the car on the 307. What else am I ripping off this sucker to go on our 455? Yeah, we're gonna need these pulleys on the front. We got the 3 belt pulleys on the front. Possible Shih Tzu massage to our heater box back there. Only if she gets in the way like a game of road hockey in the drag strip. This AC that I want to run. It gets about as hot inside this car as a drag slick on a blacktop. Tinted T-tops, all tinted windows, black car. It's like a cat's ass on a boiler. But I'm going to switch over to an electric fan setup in the car to save us some drag on the engine.
My eyes slants for fine scents of prime ribs and red wine dips that owed you. It's like the throat of my lips, and I don't know you, so get from around me, asshole. We smoke like mackerel beside the light for men to dabble. This that men in black flow, it isn't kosher. Bitch, I rap like a samosa. Baby boy, he been a soldier. You keep the toy inside the Yoda. The biggest boy is Clover. You surfing on a sofa, a surf inside the ocean. Skin tone with zinc lotion. Look, I'm bringing home the biggest portion. Yeah, I'm taking the show. Just bought an 8th of dro, straight from Trudeau. Blowing triple A Canadian and play in the snow. Yeah, I'm playing the field. I'm arranging the build. I keep my collar down like David Seville, for real.
Now that we got our oil draining, we can start pulling accessories off. Get rid of this water pump. Something simple like the water pump. I'll just slide the hardware back in their holes. We swapped this into the other car. This bolt here is actually going to be replaced with a stud like this that's going to hold our AC bracket, and we'll be stealing that stud from the 307 using a little slide hammer here. Got us just a hook on this slide hammer. I'm just going to carefully, wow, look at that, pops right off. I'm going to put that right back in its original box just to keep it from getting crappy. You might be wondering why I had this motor all put together. Well, the reason was I was building a low buck setup. I'm going to take the engine to the engine dyno and see what we could get out of it. It was really cheap. I got the torquer intake used off a guy on Facebook for $100 with 4-barrel carburetor on it, getting rid of the original 2-barrel intake. Fresh lifter set, dual roller timing chain, and Moroso oil pan. I was going to see what we could do down at the dyno for a really cheap setup, but the COVID put a shutdown to that, so I'm going to build her up and put her in the car instead. Let's get this valve train torn apart.
Last chapter, camped out and spent the cash after. Mass stature, heavyweight, could collapse rafters. Laugh after, I think they can't hatch you. Work clothes and I'm dapper after. Yeah, the fat mixed padded rapper. He just arrived inside a padded jacket. But promoters said they had to have it. It's green and yellow like a Packers fan. Just made his apple dance inside the back of the van. Japanese teriyaki lamb. That's what I'm eating, cause I'm fat and tan. Fat enough to flatten land, sit my ass in sand. Like Kazakhstan, savage plans to get the cash in hand. The feckle mess, stress is simple.
And when you're taking this stuff apart, you're gonna want to keep it all about as organized as a crime family. You can see I take a lot of care when I'm building the motor, I'm working on the car, but I'll probably over rev this thing, peekaboo the block, and do a piston delete mod. Let's get these lifty boys yanked out of their holes. There's actually a torque specification on these. I think it was 7 pounds. I'll tell you when we're putting her back together. Snatch it.
Should be able to just finger bang these holes. Finger bang these holes from the bottom. Pop them lifters out. Oh yeah, extension. Oh.
Finger bang. Oh.
Well, now that we've implemented the pleasure of full bore finger banging those lifters out, next we'll pull the oil pan. And now I got a call to go into work. I got to check out an insurance job. We'll be back. Dick Fast on site. Little fire damage to assess. Ooh, Volkswagen. Should probably go good with some nitrous. Holy shizer. She's about as soggy as a rag top in here, boys. Little fire damage to this property. Dick Fast had to come investigate. They told me I need to go up in the attic, but looks like the attic came down to me. Looks a lot like this old deck ain't have a lot of life left. It's the fire damage. Melted the damn windows right out of it. One thing I know about this house is somebody was addicted to speed. Oops. That's not the kind of floors you want in your mama's room. I don't think I could fit in that attic.
You think it was leaking or the whole thing, eh? Pretty much.
The area I thought was leaking is under that there tarp. So it must have been leaking. All right, ladies and gents, we got a full-blown turkey mania here. Out of the road! are this year's babies. This year's babies. Yeah, my father-in-law is an old hot rodder and a drag racer. A lot of his buddies are old circle track guys. And a friend of his is going to work on my distributor there and redo the curb for us. You know, more blast, more fast. He's also going to work the carb for us so we can spray more fuel in this thing than she can likely handle. That'll be fun. Yeah, the guy I got this torque box off, he was building up another car. He was building up a 1968 Delta 88 convertible. He bought himself a hardtop car, pulled some fenders and a trunk lid, but he didn't need this big block out of it. So 60,000 kilometers on it. Gave these crevasses here, these ports, a nice jam pack full of paper towels to keep the oil out of her. If there's any oil that's going to spill out of her when we give her the flip. Let's flip the script on her. She's heavy, this thing. Yeah, she's heavy. Once you get her going, yeah, it's not too bad. There's a bit of oil coming out. There you go. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, now we got her head over heels. We can take the skirt off her. I'll just pop them with the socket, and then I'll suck them all out quick with the impact.
My name's like pop rocks in your mouth, kid. We bend the valves for this foul shit. You so pussy, I can smell fish on your outfit. Leave you moist like a tablet. We drop shock like an outlet. Todd chicken, white briefs. Bisexual freaks inside the white Jeep. Cypher beats and white snakes. Gin and iced teas. Stains on the white tees. It's like me. Got the coat from the catalog. The same color Santa Claus. And it's big like a Saint Bernard. Mommy smooth like a pasta with sauce. Do Pilates a lot. She sucked me God for the life. She get lost in the thoughts. Head nods off exotic guitars. Big Frosty make the odd against pop. You're gonna want to keep those about as close as your wallet. You may never see them again. Underbelly. Closer look at her inner workings. Now, if you're not going to take the heads off, use this opportunity to turn the engine around and have a look down into the cylinder walls. Get that piston at the top of the stroke. You can see a lot of the cylinder wall. You can't see on this camera, but these suckers are pretty clean. And I always like to drop her skirt before we pop her blouse. That way we're taking it apart the way we want to put it back together. The way that these seals pinch and these gaskets pinch. You should be doing the timing cover first, then the oil pan when you put it together. The oil pan first, then the timing cover if you're taking her apart. That's about as far as we're gonna go in this video. It should only take me another 5 minutes to pull that timing cover and yank the cam out. Got a bunch of parts coming. They're supposedly shipped today. So in my next video, we'll do a walk around on the car so you can get a better idea of what we're working with, where this torque box is going to drop. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe if you want to keep up with the project. And just remember, if you see me on the road, get out of the way, because Dick Fast is coming in hard.